Shalom, call Loyim Wakabala, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Rachakwadash, Shabbat Shalom, double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I'm watching Heyman Malone's Apologetics Smoke Room Live. And this individual here, he cammed up with him. They asked him some questions, and I believe the topic is on hell, the grave, where you go when you die, and which we all know, these Christians, a lot of them got it wrong, in their concept of, what happens after death. Um, we know the wicked shall not understand, but the wise shall understand. So you definitely can expect for vocab to not fully understand the process. Plus the Lord, he's hid, his mysteries and secrets from the wise and prudent of this world and revealed them to the babes. All right. But you're gonna hear him, give him some answers to some of the questions that he have, in which, some of the answers that he's giving them is not sound. All right. So vocab is not as wise as he professed himself to be. But let's listen real quick.
People ahead of you, but I do got you in the green room, so hold your spot, my friend.
Hold on, let me real quick. Let me adjust the audio. Hopefully there's not no echo. All right, let me play it.
And then as
Okay,
far
so
as
so
the
you'd say,
wicked, yeah,
oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
As
Yeah, you
far
can
as
finish.
the wicked, I guess we might say Hades, which is going to be, maybe one word to describe it, which my understanding, I think, is going to be, for lack of a better way to put it, thrown into the lake of fire at the end. So it's not the final place for the wicked either, but it's not the place you want to be. I would take
But are
some of
like
that
wicked in
probably from the
hell,
parable, huh?
are the wicked in like hell right now, like burning, or like
Well,
what's
see
your
that
perspective?
it's the term hell in English. It's there's several Greek words and even in Hebrew, I believe, that get translated as hell. So that's why I would probably say Hades, with the end destination after a judgment for the wicked, after with the end destination as a lake of fire. So I would want to say Hades, then onto the way of the lake of fire after the judgment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but a lot of Christians teach that hell is the lake of fire where you burn forever and ever, and that's a total misconception of Scripture. That's why you got to go into the original language to get the true context. And it has various meanings depending on the context. And we know that there's a scripture in Revelation where it says that the death and hell was cast into the lake of fire. So if you was already in hell, how could you take people in hell and cast them into hell? You know, you're gonna take the grave, you're gonna take hell and cast it into hell. It wouldn't make sense. So obviously, hell is just the grave. That's the word Hades. It goes back to Sheol, which means the grave or pit, in which, when we all die, our bodies go into the grave or the pit, but our spirit, goes to the Father. All right. So you're not in some place where, your spirit is getting tormented and you're getting flamed, and you're feeling the burns of fire. But you're gonna hear vocab refer to the parable of Lazarus and the rich man, which shows you he don't have understanding of that parable. Because even in that same parable, the Lord, he references the rich man in hell. He opened up his eyes in hell and torment, and he basically calls for Abraham, or I forget, when you go into the parable, to dip his finger in water and to cool his tongue. How is that happening in the grave when your body is just there and your spirit is not in that body? And how is that, if you're going to say that Haiti is a place, all right, where you go after death, meaning your spirit, your soul. How is that happening in a spiritual place? How is your spirit being on fire when your spirit is a fire? And how do you have a tongue? How do you have a tongue, all right, in this so-called place? And we know there's a prophecy which goes into the nuclear destruction, that the plague it's a plague where your eyes going to consume in your holes, your tongue shall consume in your mouth. It's going to melt in your mouth. That's not happening in the spiritual realm. But anyway, let's continue to listen to what this guy's talking about. Haman Malone.
Okay, but like right now, if they're unrighteous, they're in a condition of suffering right now.
I
Like,
think you could describe it that way, and I would draw
okay,
information from the parable with the rich man.
okay. Well, could I ask you, what about what is that? 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 19. They summoned the spirit of Samuel, and he told King Saul, because at this point King Saul was unrighteous, right? So Samuel told King Saul that when he's gonna die, there's gonna be a war tomorrow. Him and his sons are gonna die, and he told them that they're all gonna rest together, right? They're gonna all be together. And another good one that I'd have to
Yeah.
ask
I
your
take that as him just saying you're going to join me in death. That's the way.
okay,
You hear that? He take it as you're just going to join me in death. So where would he be in death? What do the scriptures say happens to man after when you die? Same basic scriptures, man. Ecclesiastes 3, start at verse 20. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 20, it says, all going to one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? And like I said, all go to one place. So your body's gonna always go into one place. That's the grave. It's gonna go to where it returned. It's like where it came from. It's gonna return back to where it came, right? We were formed of the elements of the earth. We return right back into it after our spirit leaves. But where did the scripture say our spirit goes? It goes upward. Where to? The third heaven, which is the spiritual realm. That's where we all go. Okay. So basically, Samuel was saying, tomorrow after that battle, and you basically the Lord's going to give you over to the hand of the Philistines. Tomorrow you're going to be in the spiritual realm where I'm at. That's basically what he said. And Saul was wicked, so that means what? That the wicked are there too. Let's go to another scripture. And Satan, when you get there, if you wicked, Satan ain't up there. All right, got you hog tied, and beating the shit out you. Nah, you in the spiritual realm, and everything is in order in the spiritual realm. All right, Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7, it says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. And your spirit is eternal, because the Lord, who's the Father of spirits, he exists. So a part of himself can never die. So really, in retrospect, we never die. We just transition. Okay? Your body just goes back into the grave. All right. And if the Lord resurrects you, then your body was just at rest until he put your spirit back in that body and raise you out of the grave. Or if you're not resurrected, you're reincarnated, which vocab doesn't believe in that. A lot of Christians don't believe in it. Even certain Israelites don't believe in it. But you come back, which reincarnation just simply means back in the flesh. Re meaning back, incarnate in flesh, so back in the flesh. All right. So that's basically what happens, man. All right. And you don't, when you do come back, you don't remember the former things. That's also in Ecclesiastes. Like when they asked John the Baptist, was he Elijah, and he denied it. Well, that's because he wouldn't know. But that didn't negate the fact that he was in fact the spirit of Elijah. He was Elijah coming back in the reincarnation. All right. So let's go back and hear a little more of this.
That's
Okay.
that's the way I understand that.
Okay, what about Job chapter 3? If you start at verse 8 on down, it speaks about they're the wicked, they cease from troubling, and they're the weary are at rest, right? So Job, if you read the chapter, he was speaking of, he wishes he would have passed away, so he goes into describe.
And you could tell he's probably been watching the Israelites. That's why he's coming with these kind of questions and going into these scriptures, because we're the ones that go into these scriptures. All right. And Job, the 3rd chapter, that's a good chapter to understand what's going on. That you even have the wicked in the same place. You're in the spiritual realm. Nobody's doing their own thing. Everybody's in order. That's basically what that's going into. And Job was basically making his complaint that why didn't I not be stillborn? Why didn't I die from the womb? At least I would have went back to the spiritual realm, and I would have been, chilling. Even the wicked up there they ain't oppressing, they ain't doing nothing against nobody.
What would have happened if he was to die from the womb, right? So he goes into describe the spiritual realm, and he says they're the wicked, they cease from troubling, right? So I'm just trying.
Job, where'd you say though?
Job chapter 3. I believe you can start at verse 8 and read on down, but it's in Job chapter 3.
Stars over because it did not. No, this is about the Leviathan. Let me see. Oh, okay, 13. For then I would have laid down and been quiet. I would have slept. Then I would have been at rest with kings and councils of the earth. So is that what you're talking? Yeah, talking about if he would have died. If he would have died in birth, yeah.
Right. So he's saying that they're the wicked, they cease from troubling. And if you read the whole chapter, which we don't have it for the sake of time, but if you read the chapter, he's describing the spiritual realm of where people go.
What do you think it means, though, the wicked cease from troubling?
Well, from my understanding, I'd say both the righteous and the unrighteous, they're all at rest right now, and they're all at peace, because if you read, say for an example, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, go to verse 20 and verse 21, it refers to this, all go unto one place, right? So everybody goes to the one place, which I'd say is the spiritual realm.
Yeah, everybody, your body goes to the grave, but your spirit, well, let me, it seemed like maybe he knows, you know what, now that I think about it, this dude look kind of familiar. All right, but I'm not sure what camp, he belonged to. He might be actually one of us, but I'm not sure if he's what camp he's in, but he looked kind of familiar. But he's actually schooling vocab. All right, vocab is getting schooled right now. And vocab, because of his pride, he doesn't like to appear like he's being schooled, so he's gonna find a way to give his exegesis and find some kind of way to counter your assessment. But you being schooled, man. All right, putting to rest that Christian dogma, them Christian mythologies and fables developed from the Catholic Church.
Well, I'd say it's a spiritual realm. They all go back to the Most High. Like, I'll give an example. If you go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7, right? When a man dies, his spirit goes back up to the Most High.
So it's the wicked. Another way to translate Job 3:17 is the wicked cease from turmoil. That's the NIV. The ESV is the wicked cease from troubling. I'm not sure I'm interpreting that as they don't have trouble, they don't have turmoil. It seems like one indication could be, the wicked ain't causing no more problems. The weary are at rest, but do you think the Old Testament teaches that the wicked receive rest when they die?
Dude, the scripture is plain. the scripture meant exactly what it said. So now he this brother here, he laid it on vocab, man. Vocab is a little startled by that. You think the Old Testament is, dude? What did the scripture say? He quoted Ecclesiastes. I don't think Job is contradicting Solomon's verse in Ecclesiastes. All go to one place. The spirit of man goeth upward, and the spirit of beast goes downward into the earth. So what's upward? Is Hades upward? What is actually upward? Where you when your spirit goes up, where is it going to? Come on, man. But he gotta find something. All right. He gotta gaslight you in some way, to get you to question, your argument or your opinion. He just can't deal with he just can't handle the truth. He can't accept what is. And that's how you know this man is a damn serpent, man.
Well, I'd say that I don't subscribe to the concept that when you die, you go to hell. Again, I understand that when you pass away from the body, whether you're a righteous person or unrighteous,
Do you think the
you
wicked
are
have
in the
rest
state of.
though?
Well, going by the scripture there, it looks like they're at rest. Like I'll give an example in the
What
state of
scripture is
unconsciousness.
that?
If you go to John chapter 11, verse 11, read on down.
Well, okay, I'll
Christ.
go there, but hold on. What I'm saying is this passage says the wicked cease from troubling, the weary are at rest. I feel like you're transposing, making the wicked also be at rest, but that's not the way the line proceeds. I feel like that's what you're doing there, but I don't feel
So
like
it
that's what
doesn't
it's
say that.
doing.
So the text doesn't say that they're the wicked; they cease from troubling.
Yeah, they stop causing problems. I don't think that has to mean that they don't have any more trouble themselves.
But okay, so the wicked, they're not in trouble, but they're in torment in hell then, or wherever you said
Well,
they
I'm
are right
saying
now.
I'm saying the term that I think is best to use there is Hades, on the way to the lake of fire. But basically, it's a
Okay.
place where
So it's a place in between the heavens and the earth where your spirit goes, and it basically it's on standby in some secret mystical location where you're suffering torment. How exactly? Before you go to the lake of fire, where is this place? Because that would contradict Ecclesiastes 3 and also Ecclesiastes 12:7. Your spirit going upward. So what is this guy talking about? And then even when Apostle Paul got stoned to death and his spirit went up for a little bit, where did he say he was at? He was caught up where? Go to 2 Corinthians, was it 12? Yeah, 2 Corinthians 12:1, it says, "It is not expedient for me doubtless to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I knew a man in Hamashiach above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth, such a one caught up to the third heaven." All right, and where's that at? In the spiritual realm. All right, and I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth. And when you are in the third heaven, you're definitely out of the body. You're clearly in the spiritual realm. You're in another dimension. All right. Because like he also reiterates in the fifth chapter that when you absent from the body, you're present with the Lord. And when you're absent from the Lord, you're present in the flesh, which means you're on earth. You can't exist in two places at once unless the Lord, opens up your eyes to that realm, you know. But for the most part, when your spirit transitions from this flesh, that's the other realm you're going straight to the spiritual realm with all the other spirits. Okay, it says I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth how that he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter. I mean, it was very inexpressible, describing what I heard and what I seen when I was, up there, you know. But even the Lord told those malefactors, well, the one on his right that repented at the last minute, when he accepted the Lord, he the Lord basically said, "This day you will be with me in paradise." And what did he mean by that? That we're going to go to the same place, or the third heaven, man. Okay, and the Lord was going to remember him. So he has a special place. Like he that last moment he converted. Okay, so vocab he just don't know, man. All right, the Lord he ain't reveal these type of things, especially to a wicked man like him. The wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. The Lord ain't dealing with this guy. But anyway, and you can tell that these his followers, they're lost in the sauce. They don't even know what the hell is going on. They ain't got no, and they never post any scriptures at all. They never put no scriptures up. So yeah, man. Hey, and guess what? When you leave this body, you're gonna go back to the spiritual realm, and you're gonna tremble at the sight of the Lord, just like the rest of them. But when you come back, all right, you just like the the parable of the Lazarus and the rich man. That's when you're gonna lift up your eye in torments. When you born back into this world after the destruction of this place, you're gonna be in captivity if you an Edomite, which we believe you are. You are that we believe you are a Amalekite. You're gonna go right into you basically read Deuteronomy 30 and 7. That's gonna be the torment you're gonna be in. All right, you're gonna be up under them curses. That's the torment that you're gonna suffer. We gonna be in our heaven, and you gonna be in hell, because hell is not just the grave; it's also a condition, the state of sorrow and torment. Matter of fact, let me get this in Lamentations. Lamentations 3, verse 64. And it says, Lamentations 3:64 says, "Render unto them a recompense, O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands." All right, reward them, with their works that they've done against us. And that's all throughout the scriptures, man, about, recompense. All right, recompense and tribulation. All right, it says, "Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them." And that's one of the curses that are on the Israelites, man, the sorrow of the heart or the mind. All right, you're gonna be under the sorrow of mind. You're gonna be in torment when all them curses come upon you. The Lord deal with you how the Lord did to us, because that cup is gonna be passed unto you. You're gonna have to drink of it. All right, that's the hell that you're gonna catch. So anyway, I'm gonna stop it right there. This is just a little quick response, to this dialogue right here, in which he knows what he's talking about because he's an Israelite. But this dude right here, he doesn't know because he's the wicked. All right, so he gonna find ways to try to gaslight, your talking points, and get you question, why you're saying, or question your opinion, which our opinion don't come from our emotions; it comes straight from the scriptures. But anyway, I'm gonna close out with that. I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. To the next lesson, Shalom.